I'm starting with a clean face and applying Candlelight Shadowsense underneath my eyes to cancel out the blue dark circles that I have. I'm just using a Real Techniques brush to blend that out. Then I'm going in with Cream Beige Foundation and using a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush to blend that in all over my face. Next, I'm using our white concealer, and the purpose of this is for highlighting, but I mix a lot of it with what little foundation I have left, and I'm just blending that into the left half of my face to create a nice white base for the skull. I do 2 layers of this to really brighten it up, and I'm just using a Real Techniques brush to blend it. Then I'm using our natural translucent powder to set the left half of my face anywhere that I applied the white concealer. Alright, now back to the right half of my face. I'm going to bronze it up using Mocha Java Shadowsense and a Real Techniques buffing brush to blend that all out. Then I'm going in with Sandstone Pearl Shadowsense to highlight underneath my eyes and also create a base on my eyelid, and then I just use a Real Techniques setting brush to blend that all in. For my cheek, I'm using Pink Posey Shadowsense, and then I use Garnet Shadowsense to contour, and this was super weird only doing the right half of my face. I felt like I was missing something. I'm not going to be doing a ton on my eyes, but I am running Mocha Java into the crease, and then I do my eyeliner with Onyx Shadowsense and a little liner brush, and I am going to extend the wing quite a bit, so you can just kind of watch and see how I do that, but I do take it out pretty far. I want it very dramatic. Then I'm going in with Snow Shadowsense, which is just a straight white to brighten up my inner corners, and then I'm taking Onyx and dragging that all underneath my lash line, and then taking a little blending brush to really blend that out. I want to make it super smoky underneath. And then I'm also lining my waterline with Onyx Shadowsense and just using a tiny liner brush. And I always feel super weird watching myself do this because it kind of looks creepy the way I pull down my eye. Then I'm going in and coating my bottom lashes with a ton of our black lashsense. And if you haven't tried it yet, you need to. It's like the most waterproof mascara ever. Then I decided that one wing wasn't enough, and so I'm using Onyx to just draw a second wing. I don't know why, but I kind of like the way it turned out. Now for the fun half of my face. So I'm taking Snow Shadowsense on a stippling brush and just putting that where I want it to be really extra bright, like where I know I'm not going to be putting any black or shadows, just to really brighten it up and make it super white. Okay, for this next part is where I'm creating all of like the shadows and the hollow places on my face. So I'm using Blackberry Lipsense for this on a little tiny liner brush. And I'm just going to draw a big circle around my eye, and then I'm using a fluffier brush and filling it in with Blackberry Lipsense. And to be honest, if I were to go back and do this, I probably would have just used the straight applicator of Blackberry. I did end up going in with Onyx Shadowsense closer to my eyes because the Blackberry Lipsense was making my lid crease stick together. So I took Onyx Shadowsense just right up close to my eye and then in my waterline as well. And then I go in and apply a ton of mascara. Next, I'm creating the hollowed out parts on my temple and my jawbone, and there's not really a rhyme or reason to the way I do this. I just kind of went for it. And again, I'm using Blackberry Lipsense and that little liner brush to do this. Then I go in and fill in those hollowed out parts with Blackberry Lipsense as well. I've had a lot of people ask me why I use Blackberry Lipsense instead of the Onyx Shadowsense. And honestly, there's not really a whole lot of reason. I do feel like the Blackberry can create smaller lines, like right now how I'm drawing on the little cracks. I can get smaller, more detailed lines with the Lipsense. But I do like the Onyx Shadowsense for shading, and I'm going to do that in just a minute. You'll see how I use that. So I do use both, and either of them would work. I just like the Lipsense better for drawing precise lines and Onyx better for shading. So you can see now I'm doing the shading, and I'm just taking Onyx Shadowsense on a fluffy blending brush, and pretty much just wherever I applied the Blackberry Lipsense, I'm just going in to add some shading to give some depth to the look. And then on those smaller cracks, I'm just using a smaller brush to keep it more precise. Then I'm going in with Snow Shadowsense on an angled eyeliner brush to just brighten up some of the parts that got covered up with the shading. Next, I'm drawing on the nose, or rather lack thereof, and to do this, I'm just drawing 2 triangles with blackberry lipsense and my little liner brush again, and then I just go in and fill it in with blackberry lipsense as well. Okay, next was the part I probably had the most fun doing. It was the mouth. So I'm starting with Snow Shadowsense and just re-brightening up that whole area because I really want those teeth to stand out. And then I'm taking blackberry and drawing a line down the center of my lips. And then I also take it and draw a line straight out. And this is just kind of going to separate the top teeth from the bottom teeth. And then I also take it on the waterline of my top and bottom lip just to make that separation a little more dramatic. And then I just start drawing vertical lines all the way along that horizontal line to create the separation of the teeth. Next, I'm taking Onyx Shadowsense on a little angled brush and just shading pretty much wherever I applied the blackberry lipsense to separate the teeth to just make them look a little bit more separated. And as I get towards the top of the teeth, I kind of taper it in so it kind of like closes off the top and makes it look more like roots of the teeth because they kind of are triangular, I guess, if that makes any sense at all. Then I'm going back in with that tiny angled brush and some onyx to add some shading to the tops of all the teeth to kind of close them off again where the roots of the teeth would be. And then I'm taking that same fluffy brush and just blending it out to create more shading. And just doing the same thing to the bottom teeth. I feel like this video is kind of hard to voice over because I just kind of go with it. There's really no specific thing that I'm doing. You just kind of add shading here and there and it looks really cool. Now I'm just going back in with blackberry lipsense to hollow out my cheekbones, and then I go in with Onyx Shadowsense on a fluffy brush to just add some shading and more dimension. And then I go back in with Snow Shadowsense on that same angled brush to just brighten up some of the shading. There's kind of a pattern that I do. If you can't tell already, I draw blackberry and then shade and then brighten it up. I felt like my teeth got kind of dingy and gray from all of the shading, so I take Snow Shadowsense on that same angled brush and I'm just going back in and brightening up all of the teeth. Then for the lips on the normal half of my face, I am using Flygirl, and I'm just going to do 3 layers of this. And I do overline my lips quite a bit. I want them to be really big and full, so I overline them, and I love that lipsense doesn't feather or bleed, so I can overline them, and it looks normal. And last, I top the Flygirl off with some glossy gloss. And that is the finished look for my half-face skull Halloween look. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks so much for watching.